Welcome to the Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African intellectuals from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mudavadi.
Since there was no politics this week, we'll focus on two things. One, why a runoff is inevitable in 2017. And we hypothesize here that the 2017 election is going to be the most difficult election that this country will ever experience. And the second thing we'll focus on is why the code ticket of Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka is nothing but political hubris. Like a cat toys with a mouse, Raila is toying with Mudavadi. But this is not the first time Mudavadi has been toyed with. In 2013, Uhuru and Ruto toyed with him when they told him he would be the Jubilee candidate for president. And he believed it.
Honorable Uhuru stated categorically that he had been reflecting on the state of affairs in the country and found it necessary to make a major personal sacrifice. That after consultation, he had decided to withdraw his candidature and wished to support me as the coalition candidate for president.
Political experience has taught us that we learn absolutely nothing from experience. And this is the reason why Mudavadi will be cheated in 2013 and be cheated in 2017, and he'll not realize a thing. But having said that, we must ask a question. What is Raila doing by introducing him into court politics? He is telling us that Wetangula is insufficient and he is replaceable. 1. 2, he is telling us that he is an army of occupation within the Luhya nation, and he can create and recreate their leaders at will. That's why when he goes there, he doesn't even need these leaders. He can create Mudavadi, dump him, create Wetangula, dump him, and recreate, recycle each one of them at will. Second thing he's doing. Third thing he's doing is that he's telling us that court has its owners, and its owners have a name, and the name of its owner is one Raila Amolo Odinga. But finally, what he's telling us is to go back to the Moi cookbook of politics, in which Moi taught us that you must do unto others before they do you. He has discovered that the Luhya nation and its leaders that he does not control will do unto him before he does them.
People are by nature unreliable. It is easy to persuade them of something, but difficult to confirm them in that persuasion. Therefore, the prince must arrange matters so that when the people no longer believe, they can be made to believe by force. To do so, a prudent prince cannot and must not honor his word when it places him at a disadvantage and when the reasons for which he made his promise no longer exist. The less a prince relies on chance, the more assured he is of his position.
Let us now turn to the reasons why a runoff is inevitable. According to the IEBC figures, and if we are to assume that people will vote along ethnic lines as they have always done, JAP has only 42% of the total vote. They're 8% shy of the 50% plus 1. And CORD has only 33.4% of the total vote, which is 5.3 million votes. Now, none of them can reach the 50% plus 1 and win this election decisively unless something very dramatic happens. But let's suggest something dramatic could happen and we see how it looks like.
I want to tell campus there is nothing hapo kwa code, hakuna kukaa tukingoja kitu, hakuna. Kalonzo, my good friend and my party leader, tutafute njia ile tutaenda tujenge watu wetu na tujenge nchi yetu. Already God knows who is the presidential candidate. If we ask anybody from Luo Nyanza, they will tell you it is Raila, and that's it. I mean, code belongs to ODM. Why we are just there as flower girls that you don't want to be flower girls?
Let us assume that Kalonzo gets annoyed and joins Jubilee as Prime Minister. Can he deliver 50% plus 1 for Jubilee? The statistics show that campus support for Jubilee can only secure a 49.8%. This is good, but not decisive, conclusive, and total. What about the Luhya Nation? Can Mulembe give Uhuru a resounding solution to the 50% plus 1 dilemma?
Nani amekuwa vice president? Musalia. Si ndio huyu hapa? Nani amekuwa deputy prime minister? Si ni huyu Musalia huyu? Sasa mnyinyi mnatafuta Muluya kiongozi kutoka wapi?
The ABC figures show that if the Mulembe Nation joins Jubilee in exchange for prime minister position, the election will be won with a decisive, conclusive 53%. This is the best that can be recorded in our view. If the runoff is unavoidable, the earliest we can have the president-elect sworn in will be Tuesday, the 14th of November. But should the Supreme Court decide on the 2nd of November that the results of the runoff are null and void, then we will have to reset the election date. And this takes us back to sometime on the 2nd of January or thereabout, 2018. And then from January 2018, the election results could be announced and the contestations that might arise out of that could go all the way until March 2018. This way I'm saying that the constitutional baloney that we brought upon ourselves could lead us into an election spin in which we are in the election mode for up to 6 months. A Dream Deferred by Langton Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun or fester like a sow and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat or crust and sugar over like a syrup sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode?